So I started drinking at the age of 13, and like I was a heavy drinker for a couple of years, and then when I turned 17 I found ice, and like before that I'd had a couple of joints at some parties, but then once I started the ice, like I started hitting the bongs as well, and from then I was just off and running, and that was it for me. It was every day with the pipe and the bongs, and yeah, it kind of ruled my life. So probably from 18 and a half, it's when my mum left to move to Melbourne, and I was still in Perth, so I had a little bit more free reign. So I literally took off with the idea of the free reign and just used every day. Pretty much I knew that I wanted to go to rehab. I had no idea what kind of rehabs were here, and I called my mum, and she actually brought me here the next day after I called her. So my mum found it through the internet, she said. For me, like, I was literally sleeping in public toilets, using every day. I was doing things that I never thought I'd ever do. I'd become someone that I didn't even recognise anymore. I was estranged from my mum, and she was the only family that I had here. And quite funnily enough is that, like, I actually used to do a lot of using in the park next to the office of the Hader Clinic, so like it was quite bizarre coming here. Like, I definitely already surrendered before I even come into the office, and then I was quite happy to go to rehab. Like, I'd had enough, I was defeated, and I really needed something to work for me. So I remember I was really fried, and like I couldn't really get many sentences together, and I remember like the disappointment in my mum's face seeing the way I actually was. I stayed in Hader for 4.5 months. Having to sit with yourself and really, like, basically rehab for me was like looking in a mirror and actually having to look at the things that I'd done. And I'd been running from it for so long, so it was very confronting, and I always believed that rehab was going to make me or break me, and what I realised was rehab actually saved me. I loved the yoga and actually like becoming a part of a community, because that was getting me ready for obviously leaving rehab and becoming part of civilization. So originally I thought that rehab was going to teach me to use manageably, and then probably about 5 days in, I remember hearing him say total abstinence. It did scare me a lot, but I was like, I'm here, I may as well give it a shot. Like, what have I got to lose? So when I first left rehab, I just kept on doing the suggested things, which was kept going to meetings. I did the outpatient program for a month, and then probably a couple months after that I signed up for uni, which is not a suggested thing. So I'm currently a full-time student at uni, and I'm actually studying to be able to work with people like us. And I can actually live with my mum now. Yeah. So I'm 16 months and 16 days today. Seriously, just do it, because you really have nothing to lose. You've probably lost everything already, and if you're anywhere where I was, like, trust me, it's the best thing you can do, because it just turns your whole life around and makes everything better. But you need to work for it as well. You can't just say, hey, give me my recovery. But Hader will help you do that. So yeah.